Hello, folks. Welcome again to this episode of Hey, First Pres, What's Up? And this is actually part two of a conversation that I've been having with our Director of Youth and College Ministry, Delass Johnson. The first hour was totally awesome, but it's going to be long enough. We had so much to talk about. We've had to do two parts. So you're not going anywhere, right? You're going to hang in here for a while?
I am here.
Okay, good. So anyway, let's talk about. I know we were talking in the last hour. It's been a little bit challenging to do youth ministry here because of some of the changes and some of the old stuff that First Presbyterian's having to struggle with. But there's been really some exciting things going on in the youth
Oh,
ministry.
absolutely. Yeah.
So I want you to talk specifically about what's going on in the youth ministry. And if you want to segue then into the mission trip, we really want to hear about that.
Cool.
Okay.
So we have been, despite everything that's been going on with COVID, we've restarted up with our youth group meetings. So we're still meeting for youth group. And I said that if it hadn't been for COVID, I probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to have one-on-one meetups with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some of the students who I've had the opportunity to meet with, just them and I, maybe them and I and older sibling or parent. And we've gone for coffee, we've gone for pizza,
Awesome.
we've done hikes, we've done just different things where we did hot yoga. Okay.
Better you than me.
Okay. I was not ready. I go in and I'm like, whoa, it's hot in here. Yeah. Well, it is hot yoga. You didn't tell me. You didn't prepare me for this.
You mean I'm going to sweat?
What? So we've had. I feel like I'm blessed to be able to be in a space with the young people where they trust me enough to invite me into their space. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's been really good. And then we've had this awesome opportunity to begin to build a relationship in the community, particularly with Logos Academy.
That is so awesome.
And they invited me just about a month ago to come to their chapel. They do chapel on Wednesdays.
Oh, okay.
And I had 15 minutes to share. And so I prepared a little message that I shared with them and just a word of encouragement. And after that, I invited them. I told them about the mission trip that we were planning, and I invited them, for to come and to join us in a mission trip. And we were grateful to have two of the students there from Logos Academy to attend the mission trip with us. Now, I can say about the mission trip, this was my first time planning a mission trip here at First Presbyterian. We attempted last year, but with everything with COVID, we had to, call all of that off. Yeah. But this being my first year, my thoughts were, I know that there may have been a way that things have been done in the past, but I'm just curious to know if you guys are really open to doing things differently. And I can say that Pastor Kyle, Pastor Allison, and then those members of my youth advisory board, I had their full support to, extend this mission trip, not just to the students here at First Presbyterian, but to the students at Logos Academy. I had the opportunity to speak at William Penn Senior High School. I had the opportunity to share this information with Darlene Leonard with Nina. And awesome. I mean, just really spread it to the community.
By the way, she loved you. Oh my gosh, at the Nina meeting, she said, I loved and of course she loves Marcia, so hey.
I've had a few different engagements with Darlene. Yes, I got an opportunity to visit her church and their congregation.
Oh, cool, Faith.
But yes,
it's called Faith Community Church.
Yes.
Cool?
So what I have been doing though is sharing with other church ministries, going to their youth groups,
Okay.
and sharing with them, trying to bridge some sort of present an opportunity for us to bridge
Right.
and create relationships where, everyone isn't just doing, their youth group, but maybe
Right.
we can do youth group together, one Sunday, one,
Oh, that'd be
week
cool.
out of the month, or
Cool.
maybe we can do a mission trip together. So we had this great opportunity to extend the offering to these students. They came and we went to Moundsville, West Virginia, on our mission trip up in the Appalachian Mountains. This area it is extremely impoverished.
Yeah.
There was a big flood that took place there about 10 years ago, and then a second one that hit in 2016.
Oh.
And a lot of the communities there have never recovered from it. And I got to admit, initially when I was really looking into where we would go and what communities we would support, and what significance these communities may have, I thought about Hurricane Katrina that hit New Orleans, and how that community still hasn't recovered, and probably will not recover in my lifetime. But how could I make a difference, and how could I encourage some young people to make a difference in a community that may not be, we don't have to travel as far as New Orleans to
Right.
see if there's a mission that we could serve. Here we are in just West Virginia, which is just 4 hours away, and we had the opportunity to work with some families who been going through some tough times, and their properties were just going down, basically. There was this older couple, his name was Tom, and Tom had just had knee replacement. His wife had double knee replacement, and she has cancer. And Tom's an older gentleman, about 70, maybe about 74, 75. And it's like 85, maybe 90 degrees outside. It's in the heat of the afternoon. And Tom's outside attempting with a garden hoe to chop down bamboo.
Whoa.
And so we're like, no, that's what we're here for. We're here to serve you. We need you to get the rest that you need. How can we help you? And so we did that for a couple of days. And I got to admit, after the first day, the kids were like, why are we doing bamboo again? The bamboo was work. But that was our afternoon. And our mornings were spent, we worked in the food pantry at Shepherd's Memorial, and then we worked in the soup kitchen at Simpson Memorial. And these were both Lutheran churches. Mm-hmm. And just the responses that we got from some of the volunteers that worked there, some of the people that were there, was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. But then to watch the students that we traveled with, their responses.
Yeah.
I think that for me was satisfying.
You had 2 from Logos and 2 from First Pres, am I correct?
I had, 2 from Logos and 2 from First Presbyterian.
Okay.
And then Marcia, the director of Care and Ministry.
God bless her.
Yes, God bless her, because she agreed to come with me. And I'm so grateful that she did, because it was a small group.
Yeah.
But in that small group, it was so powerful.
And they're going to share on a Sunday morning, are they not?
They are August 15th.
Okay.
Yep.
And you will know, because KG, you and I already had a conversation. We want to do a panel with those kids too.
Yes.
Don't want to take the thunder away from Sunday morning, so we'll have to kind of plan this out. But I want to make sure that we can talk with them on a.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because some of the conversations that we had, each night we had like a devotion and a God moment where we were able to see God in our day.
Wow.
And one of the students that went, Luke Anderson, he's Aaron Anderson's son. He had an opportunity to engage with a group of Mormon students, and for him,
that was an eye-opener.
Oh my gosh. And I can't tell you how many times he said to me that it was an eye-opener. But the conversations that we had after the conversation that he had with the Mormons was that more intense.
Yeah.
And then I love how while we're on this trip and we're having these deep conversations, engaging moments, he still was able to have those deep conversations with his dad. Like we're on this trip, he's texting his dad, and it was just it was amazing. But just also to see the influence that his dad has in his life, and it was great to see.
His dad is so cool.
He's
and of
awesome.
course, what he's doing here in the city
is
so awesome. But what an opportunity, especially with two students from Logos. You're aware of the fact that, of course, it was housed here in its infancy.
And he was one of those students who started out here.
Really?
Yeah, he's in the 11th grade now.
Oh, my gosh. I didn't realize that. I guess that would be right. I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome. Was it Aaron that invited you to come speak at chapel initially?
So I reached out to Aaron. I told him, what my idea was. And he said, great idea. I'll put you in touch with the director of he's the spiritual formation director.
Okay.
But he's also like in charge of like student life.
Okay.
And so chatted with him, and he's like, oh, okay, awesome. Well, how do you want to do this? He's like, I think it would be good for you to come in and speak during chapel. And I'm like, okay, you want me to come in and speak during chapel? Sure. Sure. And of course, my thoughts are, I don't know, should I do PowerPoint presentation, or like, how do I do this? But it's just like, this is their chapel time.
Yeah.
I don't want to take away from their chapel time. Like, this is a time normally that they would get together to hear some sort of word, a word of encouragement, a word of hope that is biblically based.
Right.
Why not give them what they're used to? And that's what I went there, with intentions to do. And I did. And I was just in awe of the students and how incredibly disciplined they were.
Well, Logos, they are. They do place an emphasis on that.
Their chapel experience for me as an adult was satisfying.
Yeah. Cool.
These are students, and it was student-led. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's to credit, though, to the staff there of Logos.
Oh, yeah, you can see it. They put in work with the students.
No question about it. Now that they're expanding to 12th grade and with the construction that's going on across the street. And I don't want to misrepresent the student body, but I kind of get the feeling that many of the kids who go to Logos do not necessarily have a church home. They don't have a youth group that they're a part of outside of what they might receive at Logos, but you wouldn't happen to know that.
So I don't know the percentage.
I'm going to have Aaron.
Yeah,
but I told
what
Aaron
I do,
I'm overdue. So
we must have Aaron.
What I need to do, what I need to do is, and maybe have the two of you together, whatever. Because necessarily we don't want to step on the toes of our brothers and sisters in other congregations who are reaching out to kids that are at Logos.
I can say that the two that
kingdom work we're doing here.
Period. Overall,
Yep.
Yeah, the two that went with us, they do have church homes. They do belong to.
Luke would.
The young lady Yamilet, who is she's a Latina, and oh my gosh, I had her singing, and she was singing in Spanish, and she's playing and she's playing the organ, and oh my gosh, we had a ball. Like we did a lot of work, but we had fun. And what the kids kept saying is that what they liked most is that it wasn't something that they felt as though they had to struggle with us coming together.
Yeah.
They were like, it was natural for them. It was just like we were all brothers and sisters.
Isn't that awesome?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing.
Yeah,
We had the church that we stayed in, they had this beautiful like overlook, and when we sat up there in the evenings. So when the sun set, we watched the sunset, and you see this red line across the sky. It was beautiful. And you have one of the kids who's on the organ. And then, of course, they're silly, the kids. We have one who has like a water jug, and Luke is on the water jug, and he's playing it as though he's playing a djembe or bongos or something. And then you have my son Zion, who has no musical ability. He's there as a percussionist with a pan and a spoon and a knife. And because they didn't have drums, we're at a Lutheran church, there were no drums around.
Right.
So these kids are getting creative, and we're singing.
And then you got Nora.
And oh my gosh,
with her voice.
Oh my gosh. And Nora's like, "Are you gonna make me sing by myself?"
Yeah, we like listening to you by yourself.
So she's like, "Okay, guys, if I have this thing by myself, you all have to like turn the lights out." Like, no.
God, she's so humble. She
is, and it's like I'm like hyping her up. So the whole time she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're like a stage mom. What are you doing?" So we had so much fun, guy, and we worked hard all week, and so on Thursday, which was our rest day, or recreation day.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do something that the kids would really enjoy. Yeah. And so we were really looking for something that they could really enjoy. We'd gone to a few museums while we were down there. We went to an adventure park where the kids had to do like obstacle courses that were like 30 feet in the air. Now, I don't want to ruin it for you guys. You got to come back and listen when all the kids come, because we'll talk in detail about who took the obstacle course and who did not, and how that all worked out. But we had so much fun.
They have zip lining?
Gosh. They had zip line. They had the one obstacle course that's like 30 feet in the air, and they're walking across like a tightrope with nothing on the side of them except for like these little thin wires. Then there's like this one part that's just nothing but netting. So you got to like place your hands and your feet in the right spot. Mind you, you're 30 feet in the air. I mean, you're harnessed, but
that's
you're
why
30
I said
feet
I
there.
don't do that kind of stuff no more.
And then there was like this thing once you got to the end, it was a free fall where you're jumping 30 feet, nothing, just you leap off of a board and just jump.
And you just have to believe something.
You just got to believe that you're going to be caught.
Bet you there were a lot of prayers.
Oh my gosh. So we're like coaching them through this. Oh my goodness. It was so fun to watch them really just cut loose and be children and enjoy themselves. And then there was a swing that like looked over a mountain. So they pulled you back, and again, it's 30 feet. They pull you back, and there's a string that you have to pull. They pulled the string, and then yes, and oh my gosh. And I have all of this recorded, mind you.
Okay.
So I know who screamed. Oh yeah. I know who screamed. I know who smiled. I know what.
It's like those dumb pictures that they have on the music when you come through and they catch you in it.
Yeah, I have it. So, but they had a ball, and I think, and Marcia and I both thoroughly enjoyed it ourselves. I mean, it was just really good.
Praise God.
It was really good to
awesome.
be in that with them.
Another thing that I want to talk about then is, have you been attending? You've been attending the Chiefs and Clergy.
I have. I have not, as of the last couple of months. I haven't
Okay.
gotten any other, any more notifications of it. But the meetings that I did attend were really good.
Because it's no question about it. We're hearing now, the violence, the shootings in York are escalating again. I know it really is heavy on Commissioner Muldrow's heart, but also on the clergy chiefs and what's happening. But I was reading, they were just saying that one of the things is creating relationships.
Absolutely.
That if First Presbyterian is serious about making a difference in the community, then
now's the time.
When
you think about the violence, this goes back to, in the first episode when I talked about my childhood.
Yes.
A lot of people might say, well, that's Baltimore. No, that happens everywhere.
Yeah.
And when you think about the number of young people who are, it's summertime, the violence is only going to increase if there is not something for them to do.
Yep.
And I'm sorry for those who may, look at it like, who may feel as though, that's not the thing to say. That's just the truth. Young people need something to do. They need to feel as though they matter. They need to be a part of. And so for me growing up, the recreation center did that. The church did that.
Okay.
When we think about the important role of the church in the 1960s, in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, like especially more so in the 60s, the church made up the community. The church was the overseer of the community. So when we think about the influence, the power that First Presbyterian have, and when I say power, I don't mean it in a,
controlling
not at all, but just the fact that we have such great influence on this community that we're a part of.
Yeah.
We just need to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So this summer we have, the Creative Arts Summer Camp. I did it last year. We had it right outside in the church parking lot. There were a few, people from the community who we had foot traffic to pass through.
Yeah.
But it would be awesome to have the community engaged in this.
Yeah. There's
going to be poetry and spoken word and, performing arts. And then there's going to be, we're going to have KG teaching the video production and
awesome.
Amanda with the sound production and Pastor Kyle teaching songwriting and guitar. Cool. Like for those who want to actually learn the guitar, we're gonna have.
You gotta get Luke in there to do.
Oh my gosh!
With the water bottle.
We're gonna have a drummer here to help out with those who may be interested in learning djembe. Yeah. There's gonna be woodworking. There's gonna be the opportunity for crafts. Like there is going to be an opportunity for young people to be a part of. But we have to figure out how to make that connection.
Yeah, because I know that in the NINA board meetings, which, by the way, people ought to know that I've now stepped down. My term ended, and I chose not to.
Ooh.
Yeah, it did. I chose not to re-up. But I said I would still be involved, but on the side. Marcia's there. She's our representative. She's doing an awesome job. But I know one of the things they talked about, because it's dear to Darlene's heart, so maybe you've already talked with her about this, is doing these kind of activities with
that
kids.
Has been the conversation with Miss Darlene and I for the past couple of weeks. We've been engaging in conversation via email, via her inviting me around to the Northeast Neighborhood Association, and her and I sat down and talked. And they're going to have something in August, and she's placed me on the board to be a part of it. But it's called a night out, NNO. I can't remember what the first N is for.
National Night Out?
National Night Out.
Yeah, that's a thing.
So we're going to be with the National Night Out. We're going to do. She's like, I want you to very much be a part of it.
Okay.
But it's not just Delass is a part of it. This is First Pres is a part of it. And what does that look like? So that folk can say, okay, This church isn't just, okay, they're not just here in our community. They're a
Yeah.
part of our community.
Yeah. And I would say then that folks who want to be a part of that should contact you,
Absolutely.
because I know
Absolutely.
that Stephanie Walker has wanted to do more things, particularly getting people from the Sunday school
Stephanie and I have
environment.
been talking as well,
Good.
because Stephanie's another one who's just like, you know what? This is what loving God looks like.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
not just something that we keep to ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just simply write a check
Right.
and think that took care of it. No,
Yep.
that doesn't take care of it. There's nothing personal about a check.
Yep.
So, okay, I wanted to check on that because I knew that, excuse the pun. I wanted to check on that because I know that one of the things we've talked about is First Presbyterian cannot afford to, nor should they, be a Lone Ranger anymore in what we do. And once again, I am so heartened by the fact that you have such a heart for cooperating, for doing kingdom work, not only just First Presbyterian work, but kingdom work. Because I know that that's what Brother Bill Kearney's about with the chiefs and the clergy, that a lot of this is kingdom work.
Right.
Even if a lot of the people cooperating with us may not realize it's kingdom work, we're trying to show them what the kingdom on earth and the kingdom of heaven are. So we want to do that, and I'm so glad that you're ahead of me. I mean, you were all ready for my questions, and that's awesome, because I didn't want you to have that blank look like, what? You think I should do what?
I don't know, God. We pray that prayer though,
Thy kingdom come.
Yes.
Yes, sister.
On earth as it is in heaven.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
it's
right.
not just something. I have a poem and I talk about how, prayer should be meditation of the heart, not of the tongue.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
not just something that we're just saying because it's, we're so used to saying it. No, it doesn't matter how many times you say it. It should always be a meditation of your heart.
Yeah. And the thing, the task that is before us is bigger than any of us. The bottom line is,
Yep.
and God has done that intentionally. We can't do it alone. We need to be the whole body of Christ,
Yep.
not just a part of the body of Christ. And I am so blessed by the fact that you understand that. You already came with that mindset when you came here. And I know that Marcia has the same mindset. I am so blessed in my conversations with her. And well, you came from a Black Baptist church. She came from a Black Pentecostal tradition, which is all different.
Mm-hmm.
And yet she also has such a heart for kingdom work and walking, let's get past these boundaries that
Yep.
we've artificially created and work together, because the task is big. But God's calling us to it. God's
Yep.
bigger than any task that He might
Absolutely.
call us to. And that's awesome. Anything that you want our listeners to know, or what's on your heart as far as the future and where you see things going here?
I mean, I feel like we've really covered the, what the future would look like or will look like, from where I'm standing or
Yeah.
sitting, from where you're sitting, and from where for where First Presbyterian stands in all
Right.
of this. I do want folk to know, like, I'm here, and it's not because things are easy or someone's given me, handed me this position and it's all peaches and cream. It's all wonderful. No,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
here because I believe God placed me here for this time, for this season. And I believe in the bigger purpose, the bigger picture that God has crafted and created. And while I may not see it and I may not see it clearly, I believe in it.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that. So it's I'm not going anywhere.
I know. In fact, I'd be remiss to also mention this. Some of the changes that occurred is that you have switched to studying for your Master of Divinity degree through Lancaster Seminary. you have become a member of First Presbyterian, am I not correct?
Yes.
And you are now under the care of the Presbytery of Donegal and through the session of First Presbyterian to seek ordination in the Presbyterian Church USA.
Yes.
And the ceiling didn't fall in.
Oh my gosh, it did not.
I
Oh
mean,
man, God.
for us to convert a Baptist to a Presbyterian,
And I gotta
how
tell
did you
you,
make that jump?
oh my gosh, one of the pastors that I used to work for when I work with when I was in Baltimore, he said when I told him, you know, my decision and what I believe God was calling me to do, he's like,
Yep.
why would you do that?
Yeah.
It's like, you do realize, you know, how the Presbyterian. I'm like, yeah, I do.
They're heretics, you know that.
Yeah, I do. And it's and he's like, I don't know if that's the right thing for you. You don't know. But what I know God, and I know what God has for me.
Wow.
And I feel like I'm well in that space. I'm good in that. You know what? I had Eric Chase who just graduated. Congratulations, yeah. Eric, with his MDiv from Lancaster. Eric said to me last week when I saw him in church, he goes, hey, I heard you had an award last semester. Congratulations.
Really?
And I said to him, I'm like, yeah, we probably should congratulate the school. I don't really know how I received it.
I didn't know this.
Yeah. Well, apparently my GPA and apparently I'm doing really good.
Well, sister, come on. It's not apparently. You look at the piece of paper, it's objective. You're doing good.
Apparently, I'm doing really good.
Let's celebrate
however,
that.
I don't know
my
how.
wife's going to be real hard because she's your liaison. So does she even know that?
Well, I told her Sunday. I told her on Sunday because we talked about what courses I would be taking this coming fall.
Right.
And how, you know, my schedule is going to look. And just, I told her, you know, it's weird because I have to map out our life for, you know, a few months at a time. And that's kind of really impossible to do, especially, and it has been with COVID and everything being so unpredictable. But I feel like I'm grateful to God for that, just like that ability to be able to map that out and see that.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Uh-oh.
And you missed it in our conversation the other day. We were talking about your kids. Which one is most like you? I thought it might be Zara, but it's not. It's Journey.
Oh, yes, she
Journey is asks lots of questions, lots and lots and lots of questions. And you said that's the way I was when I was her age, and I asked lots of questions. I said to you, and you deflected. I said to you, children who ask lots of questions is an indication of high intelligence, and you missed it.
Oh, no, I caught it, Guy. I just wasn't going to go into it.
Well, I'm just going to tell you right now, and you just confirmed it by getting that award for the highest GPA, is God has gifted you intellectually, spiritually, just for who you are. And I want to make sure that not only you have heard that, but our folks here have heard that you're a person of keen intellect and insight, along with the deep, deep spirituality in a relationship with Christ. And we are incredibly blessed to have you here. And also, when are you preaching next? Because because God has gifted you also as a preacher.
To God be the glory. I'm grateful.
It's just like,
I'm on the calendar to preach August 15th.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the next time.
Good. I don't want to miss you.
I
could watch it on YouTube, but I don't want to. I want to sit there.
You know what, Guy? We have we were just talking about it before the start of things, but with the new service, we're calling it a worship lab. The experience.
Yes.
This past one that we had, and we've been doing them every month, once a month. On Thursday, on Thursday was the first Thursday. I think it's the first Thursday of the month, every month, and it's just for 1 hour from 12 to 1.
So that'll be this Thursday.
This Thursday.
1st of July?
It's the 8th of July.
Oh,
it's going to be
waiting
8th.
1 week. Okay.
Yes. So it is the last one that we had last month, Pastor Kyle and Pastor Allison, they both said to me, I have a lot going on. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to, how I'm going to be able to help you with this one this week. And Pastor Kyle asked me if I felt okay enough to put together the experience, the lab experience. And I'm like, sure. So I got to admit, I was so nervous on pulling it together because what I wanted to hear was some, gospel music, some, Kirk Franklin,
Oh
and
my
but then
gosh.
I wanted to mix a mixture. And so Pastor Kyle's like, I don't know. You're not going to have me up here singing Kirk Franklin. I don't know if a white boy is going to be able to sing Kirk
I can't hear him
Franklin.
saying it.
Oh my gosh. But it was an amazing experience. It was an amazing experience, and Marcia,
I know. I am so angry.
Marcia and I
missed
and
it.
Katie, we sung, and Pastor Kyle led us. It was just beautiful, and Pastor Allison, she's there to like come with this amazing prayer to kind of like capture everything that has been shared and that has been said. And as I'm bringing the message, I prepared something, but because of the way that things had moved through our lab experience, and it's contemporary, but there's still a lot of traditional. And I felt led to go through the scripture text that I'd chosen, as opposed to just preaching about it.
Okay.
I felt led to actually break down the scripture text, the biblical text,
What we call
and
expository.
Oh my God, yes, and oh my gosh, it was something that I hadn't prepared, but I wish that I had recorded it because it was so good, and as afterwards, I'm like I'm having different experiences, and then thinking back on this text. And then I had some members who were present say to me, that message, like I went home and I had to really like unpack. I had to unpack mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And so to hear that and to see that, to witness how things moved through that worship experience, it was just awesome.
Okay, so my question is other than that, are you and Marcia going to sing in one of our other worship services?
Marcia and I are, the young people say, we're game. We are game.
Game?
Yeah, meaning that it's on, it can happen. Yeah. Yes, we're down for it.
Okay. Down for it.
Marcia and I are game. We've been having this conversation. We have, and what it would look like. So,
okay.
Yeah, we're excited even for our interim musical director to come in. And
did this white boy sing with you sometime?
Oh, absolutely, because we heard this white boy can sing.
2 years ago, you weren't here yet.
I was here, but I missed it. I'd only been here for just a couple of weeks.
I was with the gospel choir, and my black brothers and sisters are sitting in the front saying, "Who's that white boy up there in the
standing out?"
I loved it. Except I can't sing that high anymore. All those men were singing it way up there. So I think, wait a minute, how'd they get up there? This old man can't sing up there, but that's exciting though. It's awesome. Okay, okay, we're good. By the way, my clock over there, it got stuck.
It stopped working. It's not moving anymore.
God said, "Take your eye off the clock, would you please?" So, for those of you who don't understand, I intentionally put a clock up there so I could watch, and the thing stopped after half an hour. That was it.
Wow.
So, but that was a God thing, I guess.
Yeah. There's a message even in that.
Take your eye off the clock. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you,
Oh my gosh,
guys.
this was so awesome. And Delass, every time, especially when I hear your story, because each time you tell more and you reveal more about not only you, but your family and where your whole family has come from. I didn't know about the sharecropper part, any of that. That was the first time I heard that. And your dad and your mom and all. And it just is such a blessing. Thank you for sharing that. It's real. And it, like you said, it says who we are. We're not just what we have. We're not
Right.
just what we've accomplished. We are from where we've come. And those who have come into our lives to make that difference, as you had those mentors there. And we all need to see that every one of us could be used by God as a mentor to shape another Delass Johnson. And we should never, ever take that for granted.
Absolutely.
So thank you. Thank you. We will get the kids together. That will be a blast. I can't wait. I don't know how we're going to do that because we've got to get you all, and we're not in the sanctuary anymore. But we'll figure out the whole setup to do that. And then also, I need to have a conversation with Aaron, and it would probably be great if you were sitting in on that.
Oh,
We can
absolutely.
talk about what's going on in our community. It would be cool to have Aaron and you and Darlene and
Oh,
myself.
man.
Whoa, that would be
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways we could go because we really need to talk about how we as First Pres are about kingdom work here in the city of York, working with our
Absolutely.
brothers and sisters across all lines. And
Absolutely.
so until then, folks, thank you for joining us for this second part of a special episode of Hey First Pres, what's up? And until we see you again, grace and peace be with you.
Peace.
When